Okay, so today we're doing a forensic breakdown of a crime that's as brilliant as it is destructive. And this is a scam that doesn't target your greed or your carelessness, but something way more fundamental, your sense of decency.
And that's it. That's the central paradox we're going to unravel today. This scam works because the victim is a good, honest person who's just trying to do the right thing. The criminal is literally weaponizing your goodwill. It's a chillingly effective strategy, and you know what? Understanding it is the very first step to defending yourself against it.
I mean, think about any peer-to-peer sale you've ever made on any platform. You want it to be smooth, you want it to be fast, and you want it to be fair. You kind of operate on a baseline of trust, right? You just assume the person on the other end is doing the same. Well, scammers know this. They have built an entire system that hijacks that exact impulse, your desire for an ethical, quick transaction, and turns it into a devastating financial weapon against you. So that's the big question, isn't it? It just seems impossible. You've got the item, they seem to have sent the money, so how can you end up with absolutely nothing, and in some cases, actually owe money on top of it? Well, it happens through a very carefully orchestrated sequence of events that exploits not just your psychology, but a critical loophole in the banking system itself. Let's break down the attack step by step. All right, let's pull back the curtain and really dissect the mechanics of this thing. This isn't just random. It's a structured, repeatable system with very distinct phases. And understanding this structure is key, because once you see the pattern, you can never unsee it. The entire attack unfolds across these 4 stages. You've got initiation, that's the setup, then escalation, that's the pressure, extraction, well, that's the actual theft, and finally, reversal. That's the crushing blow at the end. Let's start at the beginning. It starts off innocently enough. You agree on a price, let's say $500. The buyer agrees and sends you a payment, but it's for $2,000. They immediately follow up with some story. It was a mistake, their payroll department messed up, something that sounds plausible. What they've just done is hand you a problem, but what they've really done is trigger a psychological principle called reciprocity. They've overpaid you, and that creates this immediate subconscious feeling of obligation on your part to fix their mistake. This is the crucial moment. The hook is in.
The moment you acknowledge that overpayment, the second stage kicks off: escalation. The scammer manufactures a crisis. They don't just ask for the money back, they demand it with this intense urgency. They'll say they need it for movers, or for a medical emergency, or for a shipper who's supposedly waiting right now. The whole goal here is to just flood your brain with pressure and panic, and short-circuit your ability to think clearly.
And yeah, this is the exact kind of language they use. It's not a polite request, it's a command. It's totally designed to make you feel responsible for their manufactured emergency. They are psychologically transferring their problem directly onto you, making you feel like any delay is somehow your fault. And this brings us to the tactic underneath it all, the isolation effect. By creating this intense, time-sensitive pressure, they make you feel like you don't have time to call your bank, or ask a friend for advice, or even just pause for a second to think. You are the only one who can fix this, and you have to fix it right now. Here's where the manipulation flips. You're no longer just a seller. You've been turned into their emergency problem solver. Now comes the actual theft. The scammer will direct you to return the surplus funds, that's the extra $1,500 in our example, using a method that's fast and, this is critical, cannot be reversed. We're talking wire transfers, Zelle, Cash App, maybe even gift card codes. And why? Because once that money is sent, it is gone forever. There's no fraud protection, there is no undo button. This is the psychological choke point. You're under all this pressure, being pushed to perform an irreversible action. And here it is, the final devastating act, the reversal. A few days, maybe even a week or more later, your bank notifies you that the $2,000 check was a fake. It bounced. So the bank doesn't just remove the $2,000, they pull it directly from your account. Let's be really clear about the damage here. You are now out the $1,500 you wired, you're out the original $500 for the item you were selling, and you might have even shipped it already. It's a total, complete loss, all because you tried to do the right thing.
So we've seen the mechanics, but to really understand why this scam is so brutally effective, we have to look under the hood at the psychological principles it's exploiting. I mean, this isn't just about a fake check. This is about hacking human nature.
The entire attack really hinges on these 3 concepts. Reciprocity, which is our natural urge to repay a perceived favor. Urgency triggers, which are these manufactured crises that demand immediate action. And cognitive overload. That's what happens when our brain is so flooded with stress and information that our critical thinking just shuts down. The scammer uses all three in a perfect, deadly sequence. Let's look at how these two work together. First, the overpayment. It feels like a generous mistake. Subconsciously, you feel a little debt. You want to be helpful and return the extra money. That's reciprocity. Then, immediately, the scammer hits you with that urgency trigger. I need it now. This urgency creates panic, which leads to cognitive overload. So your rational brain, the one that might say, hang on, I should check with my bank first, gets completely bypassed by your emotional problem-solving brain. It is a classic 1-2 punch designed to completely disable your judgment.
Now, you might be thinking, but I saw the money in my account. And this is the technical linchpin of the entire scam. The criminals are exploiting a fundamental and, honestly, widely misunderstood aspect of how modern banking actually works. I need you to pay close attention because this is the single most important concept in this whole explainer. When you deposit a check, federal law requires your bank to make those funds available to you pretty quickly, usually within a day or two. But, and this is a huge but, available does not mean cleared. Available is just a temporary credit. It's an advance from your bank, given in good faith. Cleared means the check has gone all the way through the system. The other bank has confirmed the funds are real and the money is legitimately yours. The scam lives and breathes in the gap between these two states. The criminal's entire strategy is to get you to act when the money is merely available, long before it has actually cleared.
So how long is that gap? Well, it can be significant. While funds might show up as available in 24 hours, it can take 7 to 10 business days, sometimes even longer, for a well-made fraudulent check to be detected and for the transaction to be officially reversed. And you better believe the scammer knows this timeline intimately. Their entire goal is to get you to wire them that surplus cash during this window of vulnerability. Okay, we've deconstructed the crime. We understand the mechanics, we get the psychology. Now let's talk about the solution. The defense against this isn't complicated, but it is absolute. It requires you to override your natural impulse to be helpful with a strict, mandatory protocol. These are the signals. Any one of them is suspicious. All three together, that's a guaranteed scam. But the primary red flag, the one that should stop everything in its tracks, is the unsolicited overpayment itself. There is virtually no legitimate reason for a buyer to send you more money than you asked for. The moment that happens, you have to consider the transaction compromised until you can prove otherwise.
This is it. This is your non-negotiable rule, the mandatory clearance rule. It doesn't matter what their story is, it doesn't matter how much pressure they apply, you do not send a single dollar back until you have spoken to a person at your bank, not just checked your app, and they have verbally confirmed to you that the original full deposit has finished the clearing process and the funds are legit and irreversible.
And this is how you enforce that rule. This is your script. Seriously, memorize it. When the scammer starts demanding the money back, you just calmly state this. Notice what it does. It completely deflates all of their tactics. It removes the urgency, it reestablishes a safe timeline, and it puts the control right back in your hands. A legitimate buyer who made a real mistake might be a little annoyed, but they'll get it. A scammer, they'll either vanish or get hostile, and that'll show you their true intent. We've covered the crime, the psychology, and the defense. Now, I just want to leave you with one final core principle, a kind of mantra to keep in your mind for every single peer-to-peer transaction you ever make.
Now, this might sound a little cynical, but in this context, it is a strategic reality. Your desire to be honest and helpful is the very tool the criminal is using to defraud you. You have to protect that goodwill by layering it with a healthy, mandatory dose of verification. So be helpful, be fair, be honest, but only after the payment is fully cleared and verified by your bank. And this is the thought to hold on to. Any story about an overpayment is just noise. The only thing that truly matters is whether the funds are real. You have to let the bank do its job. Patience is your shield. An overpayment isn't a problem for you to solve, it's a giant red flag for you to heed. Because the only overpayment that matters is the one that bounces.